Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the NBA Showdown slate Game 6 between the Heat and the Lakers. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, PGA, and esports, daily fantasy sports slates. Real quick, I do want to say thank you guys again for all support on the YouTube live streams, on Twitter. I really do appreciate it, guys. The easiest way to support me with all the content being free is just leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos and when I go live. I will be live streaming for this one as well, 30 minutes before lock, so be sure to check out the live stream. I also did something that I never do. I gave out what I thought was the optimal lineup on the live stream, which cashed. We'll go over that more in a sec. But also, if you guys cannot watch YouTube videos, I do upload on Apple Podcasts. The link is in the description below, which is the DK DFS show. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So before we talk about players and the prices, let's take a look back at my lineup here from Game 5. And oh boy, I am tilting hard. I don't think I've ever been as disappointed as I have been with winning basically $400 here. Because at halftime, I was in first in everything. I had literally first place in every single. I was winning like $6,000. And well, let's go over my lineup. Okay, so Kendrick Nunn, the captain, with LeBron, AD, Jimmy Butler, Rondo, and Iguodala. I told you guys to play the top three guys. That's what I was going to do. AD, the ownership was surprisingly low. 62% owned was really low. I told you guys, I really like Kendrick Nunn. Bounce back. He did. 14 points, 3 assists, 4 boards. Unfortunately, Duncan Robinson couldn't miss in the second half, so they actually closed with him over Nunn, which hurt a little bit. But I'm not even that mad about that. What I'm mad about is the minutes for Rajon Rondo. He played 18 minutes. Had 21 fantasy points in 18 minutes. 18 minutes, guys. He has literally played, if we go back to Rondo, basically 28 minutes every single game so far this series. 25, 26, 28, 28, 18. They close with Danny Green, who can't hit the broadside of a barn. They close with Markieff Morris, who finished with negative fantasy points. I was literally, all I needed was a little bit more. Rondo plays his normal minutes. I have the optimal lineup, right? Or if obviously Nunn closes to over Duncan Robinson, I clearly have the optimal lineup. But I was sitting pretty at halftime again, first and everything, so disappointing, but still can't complain. I know a lot of you guys did really well. A couple of you guys won some GPPs as well. But that was the final lineup. Nunn and the captain, LeBron, AD, Jimmy Butler, Rondo, and Iguodala. The optimal lineup that I gave you guys had Markieff Morris in it, but it was right behind this lineup. It was this. Jimmy Butler and the captain, LeBron, AD, Markieff Morris, Caruso, and Iguodala. I told you guys play this in cash games. I think this is the optimal lineup. So if you guys did play this, I mean, it hit everything. Even with the negative fantasy points there from Markieff Morris, who in this $100 tournament was 65% owned. Now, do I think Markieff Morris was a bad play? No. I think he was one of the best value plays of the day. You just got, unfortunate that he only shot the ball twice, only had 1 rebound, and 3 turnovers in how many minutes did he? He played he closed the game. It's not like he didn't get the minutes like Rondo, who got again so mad about that because he played 23 minutes. So it's just unfortunate if you did play Markieff Morris. A lot of people did. The Sharps $100 tournament, 65% owned. So bit unlucky there if you did go with Markieff Morris. But that's a look back. Again, could have been an enormous night from me, but unfortunately, Rondo gets shafted minutes-wise, and they close with Duncan Robinson over Nunn. Again, that's it. So still a good night for me, but it could have been an enormous night. Lakers, Heat, again, nothing's really changed here. 214.5 over under. Lakers are only 5-point favorites. I guess that has been a slight change. It was like 7.5, 8 in the last couple games. Lakers are now only 5-point favorites. But let's start at the top here. And we got LeBron James, 12-6. Once again, on this slate, I think you play the top 3 guys with LeBron, with AD, and with Jimmy Butler. Now, If I had to pick one who I'd fade, it would be Anthony Davis, because he's been the most inconsistent of the bunch of the top 3 guys so far in the series, and he actually did roll his ankle, or his heel, whatever it was. He was a little gimpy, so, I mean, that's concerning, right? Because AD's made of glass. He's a guy that's always injured, so if you're going to make me fade one of these guys, it would be AD, but me, personally, I'm going to find a way to get the top 3 guys in my lineup no matter what. Now, it's a lot more difficult in this slate. It is. The prices went up on the cheaper guys, so we'll talk about that more in a sec with roster construction. But yeah, LeBron, AD, again, love them both. Not contrarian take. They're going to be really popular. LeBron going to be way more popular than AD. But can't go wrong with either. You know where the offense come from. It's those 2 guys. Both went, had great games last game. Jimmy Butler is still, in my opinion, the best point per dollar play. He played 47 minutes. Sat for 1 minute last game. Again, he's a different player with no Josh out there. He's just doing it all for this team. Bam Adebayo, really struggling. Hero taking the backseat. It is Jimmy Butler. Once again, I am playing him for sure. Not fading Jimmy, not fading LeBron, and I'm not fading Anthony Davis. If you want to, fine, but that's not the approach that I'm taking. I'm playing the top 3 guys. I'm finding a way to get them in. So, with me saying that, that means I can't get to Bam, I can't get to Hero. Again, contrarian plays, it just, in my opinion, doesn't make sense, right? You have a couple $1,000s more for Jimmy Butler. Just Bam's struggling. He is. 5 of 12. It's not looking like himself. There's just no way I'm doing it. Unless I'm making a ton of lineups. If I'm making 10 lineups, maybe throw Bam or Hero there in one. But again, I think it's the top 3 guys, and then find a way to get them in. So I'm personally not going to get to Bam. I'm probably not going to get to Hero either. The Mets have been actually went down last game. Nunn played really well. Duncan Robinson played really well. And he's going to shoot the ball when he's out there, but he's just taking a back seat right now. Nothing more than a contrarian play. Dragic, we don't have confirmation, but don't think he's going to go in this one. I think he's going to be held out the rest of the series. Duncan Robinson at 7-6, so he caught fire there in the second half. They closed them, played 37 minutes, shot 8 of 15, 40 fancy points. I'll just tell you this, we're not going to get that again from Duncan Robinson. I thought his ceiling was around 30-ish, but he broke that. He went for 40 fancy points. We are not going to get that game again from Duncan Robinson. But 39, 33, and 37 minutes last 3 games. If he's shooting the ball decent, they will close with him. Now, if he's struggling shooting the ball, then they'll close with Nunn. Or they'll go out, or someone else, right? So he's still a riskier option. He's still reliant on his threes. It's just he couldn't miss, right? He made 7 threes. That's where his productions come from. It's from behind the 3-point line. So the price is continuing to go up on him. I still think he's a contrarian play. But the upside is there with him if he is shooting well. Now, the ownership is going to jump on him. I'm fine getting off. I don't think he shoots that well again. But, again, playable at this range. Crowder at 6'8", and just played 40 minutes, 15 fancy points. He doesn't have the upside. If I'm going to take a shot in someone in the mid-range, it's going to be Duncan or Rondo, right? Like, these guys have upside. Rondo, again, the minutes went down. If he plays his 28 minutes, upside's there. Duncan, we saw it the last game. If you're shooting well, the upside's there. Is the upside really there with Jay Crowder? I don't think so. So, yeah, it probably gets you like 20 to 25 fancy points, but is that going to be enough at that price? I don't think it is. Let's see. So, Rondo, again, so tilted about that. 18 minutes. He had 21 fancy points. Yeah, he plays his 28 minutes. I win that GPP, but that's DFS for you. I don't think he plays 18 minutes again. If he does play 28 minutes again, I think he could crush his salary. Again, do-it-all guy. He had 4 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals. That's the type of stat line Rondo's going to have, right? He's just he'll fill up the stat sheet. I think the minutes do go up on him, but you never know. I still think, him, Duncan are the guys in the mid-range that have the most upside. KCP, it's 5'8", feels like a lot to pay for KCP. Now, he has been playing better, right? He has stepped up as arguably their third best player. 6 of 12, 6 of 15. The minutes have been there. He's a 3-and-D guy, though, so kind of relying on his scoring, but he's playable. It's just the price is coming up slowly on him. So, riskier option because he is relying on his scoring, but has been shooting the ball well recently. Kendrick Nunn at 5'4", I still like. It's just he's an aggressive player, right? So at the last game, he kind of did defer in the second half to Jimmy Butler, but the first half, he was super aggressive. He had like 9 points in like the first 4 minutes. And if Duncan struggles shooting the ball, they will close to Kendrick Nunn. So Nunn, again, price jumped on him big time. We're not getting him at the discount that he was the last game, but I still think he's playable in this range. Kuzma, 4.8, play 20 minutes. He'll shoot the ball when he's out there, relying on his scoring. Again, playable, but not an amazing play at that price. Danny Green has really struggled shooting the ball. He'll probably play around 20 minutes. Again, relying on his scoring. Can probably get you 15 to 20 if you shoot it well, but we haven't seen it so far from Danny Green yet this series. Iguodala, the price went way up on him. Not great, right? Played 20 minutes, 14 fancy points. He's out there more for his defense. Now 4K is like, ugh, right? So, yeah, he's okay. He's in play, but not super excited about it. Caruso at 3.8, I do like. We'll get probably close to 25 minutes from him. I just feel a little bit more comfortable with him as a value play. So, yeah, he's a good defender. Lakers like having him out there. I don't really think he's going to get like his minutes cut out of nowhere like Rondo. So, I think Caruso is a pretty decent value option here. Dwight Howard's playable at 3-4. Did go back to play 15 minutes. Now, it was terrible in that time. Normally, Dwight's a pretty solid point per minute guy, but last couple games, 8 minutes, 1 fancy point, 15 minutes, 4 fancy points. He's still a guy that can go for 15 to 20. He's going to be low owned off of the last couple games. I'm okay with it, but you're not going to get more than like 14, 15 minutes, and there's a chance if the Lakers fall behind that he doesn't play in the second half, so always a risk there. Markieff Morris was the absolute chalk value and was absolutely terrible, but again, he was a good play for his price. You got unlucky if you played him. 65% of people played him in high dollar, so it's not like he was a bad play. It's just only shot the ball twice after shooting the ball 13 and 8 times the previous 2 games. Only had 1 rebound. So 3K, the minutes have been there from 25, 30, 23. I'm fine going back to Markieff Morris. I think he's a pretty decent cheap option here. I don't think he's going to finish with negative fantasy points again. And that's it. Those are the only viable plays. Below Markieff Morris, Kelly Olynyk didn't play. Sure, maybe there's a chance he plays in this one, but you can't feel comfortable about it. Myers Leonard's not going to play. Again, Salmon Hill, like Jones Jr., J.R. Smith, maybe play a minute or 2, but it's not enough to really consider those guys unless there's like a huge blowout. I don't think it will be. So let's talk about roster construction now. And it's really interesting because the prices and the value guys went up. So it's a lot more difficult to jam the top 3 guys in there. I'm still going to prioritize doing that, but let's just mess with it a bit. So Jimmy is the cheapest of the 3 most expensive guys. Let's try throwing him in the captain with LeBron and Anthony Davis. Well, 2.8K remaining, not possible unless you want to take a donut with someone. Unless you play, I guess it's always a possible build, like play someone like a 1K and then spend up a little bit more in the value. But like you can't do it, right? Because Markieff Morris is the only guy that the cheapest guy that played last game. Kelly Olynyk, Myers Leonard, they didn't play. So it's going to be tricky if you go this route to play one of the top guys in the captain if you're going to play all 3 of the top guys. Now, if you play someone cheap in the captain, then you can fit them all in. Again, that's the way that I'm going about it. I am prioritizing all 3 of these guys. If you made me pick to fade one, again, it would be AD just because kind of got banged up the last game. He's been a little bit more inconsistent, but I'm just going to play the top 3 guys. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to play someone cheap in the captain. So, again, mess with the builds, but guys that are in consideration, well, Markieff Morris, again, he was terrible last game, but the minutes have been there. Dwight Howard, what you're getting out of him, has been bad last couple games, but I still think the upside's there. Caruso has, safe minutes, right? Low to mid-20s minutes. Not really an amazing offensive player, but I don't think he's going to kill you. Iguodala, the price went up on him. Again, more out there for his defense, but playable. Green has been shaky shooting the ball, but if he does get hot, can probably put up 20 fantasy points. Kuzma, kind of the same thing, relying on his scoring. Nunn got a big price hike, but I still like him with no Dragic, KCP. So there's cheap options you can consider. Take a shot on one of the cheap guys to fit these 3 guys in. That's the approach that I'm taking, and you don't have to follow my lead, but I am prioritizing getting the top 3 guys in there. So in order to do that, I got to take a shot on someone cheap in the captain. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for the video today, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. I will be live streaming 30 minutes before lock on my YouTube channel, going over everything. So very, very important to check out the live stream, guys. I gave the optimal lineup for you guys last time. maybe I'll do it again. Never know. So check out live stream. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you all tomorrow in the live stream.